Yo, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we have the big Season 4 reveal trailer alongside a bunch of other information. It's been a long time coming for this season. It is going to be adding naval warfare for the first time in Battlefield in a very, very long time. And it seems like the community's excitement is at all-time highs when it comes to this. So let's start going over everything that is revealed today. If you enjoy the channel, be sure to hit the like button, hit the sub button, and swing by the streams. I stream every single day at twitch.tv/enders. And this Saturday, the 18th, I'll be playing in a $25,000 tournament. Don't want to miss that. I will be live streaming it. As you can see in the background, the trailer team deserves yet another raise. There is a lot of stuff that we can decipher from this particular trailer. The vehicles are a really big showcase in this trailer. Most obviously, the attack boat that appears to have a dual mortar on the back of it. I'm really curious as to the functionality and to the effectiveness of that particular weapon. They showcase a ton of jets. And there's a lot of speculation regarding whether or not these jets are two-seaters, but the trailer does suggest that in a couple ways. There are a couple scenes where you see what looks to be a co-pilot looking around in the cockpit. There's also a Grumman F-14 Tomcat. There were also multiple new weapons showcased in this trailer, namely the VSS, the AUG, what looked to be a bolt-action bullpup rifle, and a Bren 3 carbine. I'm sure there's more to come when it comes to details regarding all of that stuff I just mentioned, but obviously the star of the show are the two brand new maps being added to the game, which are Suru Reef and Wake Island, and we actually have an overhead view of the conquest layout of Suru Reef. Here we can see the conquest layout for Suru Reef, and ladies and gentlemen, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 flags on this conquest layout. It is going to be the biggest conquest map in the entire game, even larger than Galmud Railway. If I had to guess, most of the infantry action is going to be kept between these 6 flags in the center, and these flags out here will be more of the weird outskirts areas. Multiple crazy routes for attack boats. It looks as though you can go all the way through these areas and around the whole map. You can attack pretty much every single flag with a boat. There are aircraft carriers, as you can see here in the upper right-hand corner and the bottom left-hand corner behind the text. So this is going to be a true, very large Battlefield experience map. People have been asking for something like this. There is speculation that the E flag down here, if we try to zoom in on it, there is speculation this is actually the Hainan Resort Hotel. Obviously, we can't really get a great look at it, but there is like this little pool area here, and just the shape of it you can kind of work out roughly with this, little entrance here. It does kind of look like a hotel. We'll just have to see. It does seem like a pretty prominently featured area of the map with many separate bridges and routes going to it. I did see some people express some concern or some worry that there are no flags on these islands of the map, and personally, I'm not sure if that's too much of an issue. If they put flags on all of these separate islands and also kept these flags here, we'd be talking like, what? Like 13 flags they could put on this map? And honestly, I think that's probably too much, unless they make this map randomly 100 players or something weird. But I don't think there's any evidence pointing to that. Before I even set foot on the map, I think I can safely say these maps are going to be visually stunning. However, I stand by what I said in a previous video where I expressed concerns prior to Season 4 releasing regarding some of the ways these maps are going to play. Bigger does not automatically equal better, and if they don't improve some of the buggy vehicle gameplay aspects, particularly with air vehicles, I think people might be pretty disappointed with some of the gameplay experiences. Like with Stinger missiles going through jet flares, and people want to play the new cool jets on the map. It's just going to create some issues. And then with the attack boats, we saw those mortar weapons. Am I the only one that's thinking there's a possibility these boats just sit in the water and mortar people from a crazy distance? Obviously, it all depends on how the mortar actually works, the effective range, whether or not you need to be in, line of sight, or however that sort of works. But as you saw in the trailer, the mortar can be fired at a very shallow angle as well, and it did blow up an MRAP, so I assume these shells are going to be incredibly effective against both vehicles and against infantry. I heavily anticipate the fact that these maps are going to be best enjoyed while inside of a vehicle, whether that be an attack boat, IFV, attack helicopter, or jet, given the size of the map and, of course, the amount of infantry rotations where you're going to have to cross water in large open spaces. I just feel like you're not going to want to be that guy that has to do that. I think to eke out the best experience, you're going to have to be in a vehicle. So I'm actually looking forward to getting my hands on the attack boats, and I'm going to start to play in jets a lot more because I got to be honest with you, until they fix the TTK of this game, or if they ever do that, I think the infantry experience is never going to be less frustrating. So I might as well just add some versatility to my playstyles like I did in previous Battlefield titles. Moving on to some other interesting information. This is coming from Battlefield Bulletin. Apparently, DICE have been internally discussing 3D spotting and what to do with it within Battlefield 6. Obviously, the spotting has been a massive, massive topic of discussion regarding this game ever since the beta. People really dislike the fact that you cannot shoot without 3D spotting yourself on the map, especially if you don't have a suppressor. My hope is, regarding this topic, they just find a pretty simple solution where they find a happy middle ground. I'd say get rid of the 3D spot on fire and then try to rebalance some of the muzzle attachments. This would not only make the game just more fun to play because you're not constantly spotted, but it would open up the weapon meta so we can finally use something other than a flash hider or a suppressor. Personally, I think I'm anticipating the gameplay changes that are going to be coming in the Season 4 updates more than I'm anticipating the maps and the content itself. Because, guys, I just have to be completely honest with you. This doesn't really seem like my kind of season, and, you know, I'm not trying to be negative or anything, I'm just being honest with you guys. I know Battlefield players like to equate honesty with negativity, but, like, that's not my fucking problem. I've already stated multiple times, I think Wake Island, even though it's a very famous map within the Battlefield franchise, I feel as though it's a poor choice when it comes to a naval map. I think Paracel Storm is probably better than Wake Island. Some of the naval DLC maps from Battlefield 4 are better than Wake Island, I would say. But it's obvious why they chose Wake Island, right? It's the same reason why they chose to bring back Grand Bazaar and Galmud Railway. It's all about name recognition. It's all about franchise legacy. And they want, I suppose, existing legacy Battlefield players to feel like they are bringing back things people care about from previous games. So I can't necessarily blame them. I have to consider the marketing side of things of this, unfortunately. Alright, so that basically wraps this video up, ladies and gentlemen. Lots of cool stuff coming up with Season 4. I'm heavily anticipating the patch notes and some of the community updates that I'm sure they'll be releasing within the week. If you want to stay up to date with everything Battlefield, this is the channel for you. Be sure to hit the like button, hit the sub button, and swing by the streams. I stream every day at twitch.tv/enders and this YouTube channel. Appreciate you guys watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.